Errol Spence Jr. says that he will whip Canelo's ass, and he says he's going to call Oscar De La Hoya on his bluff. But can Errol Spence Jr. really beat Canelo Alvarez? Let's talk about it right here on Gym Boxing. IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. says he's going to be ready to whoop up on Canelo Alvarez right after Shawn Porter unification fight this year. He says he's going to call Oscar De La Hoya's bluff by agreeing to fight against two-division world champion Canelo Alvarez. What up, fight fans? Boxing family, this your boy Get Him Mike. This Gym Boxing, man. Welcome back, subscribers, all my subscribers, day ones, all of you guys. Appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe right now. Hit the bell icon. Now, we all heard about what happened with Errol Spence on his Instagram Live, but, you know, I want to talk about Canelo possibly fighting Errol Spence Jr., the ins, the outs, everything around it, surrounding it, other possible matchups. Let's just talk all about it, man. Now, everybody heard what happened, but one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that Errol Spence obviously fights at 147 pounds. Okay, Canelo is at 160, possibly thinking about moving up to 168 or even 175 to face Sergey Kovalev. But one of the things is that, you know, Errol Spence fights at 147. There's a lot of other fights for him to fight at 147. There's other champions. There's other champions that's actually about to fight this month in Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. He's also about to fight Shawn Porter. So with all of these fights going down, is it really necessary for Errol Spence Jr. to move up to fight Canelo, right? Most people would say no. I want to see Errol Spence tie up all the loose ends at 147 before even moving up. But one of the things I can say is that Canelo versus Spence is probably going to be one of the most biggest money fights to be made in boxing right now, okay? Errol Spence has a large fan base, one of which pisses me off from time to time. I got to be totally honest with you. But we'll talk about that later in the video. Canelo Alvarez is one of the biggest superstars in the sport of boxing. He's Mexican, has a large Mexican fan base, has the whole country on his back. That type of fight right there can be a big, huge pay-per-view type of fight. So don't get me wrong. I see the implications of why that can be possible. Now, the way that fight happens, Errol Spence he matches up pretty well with Canelo in my personal opinion. I think he's maybe an inch taller, inch and a half taller than Canelo. Not used to fighting at the higher weight classes like that. I think the highest he's fought was 154 or 152. You know, I think it was in the amateurs. He had to move down to fight at welterweight in the pros. But, you know, Canelo Alvarez has much more experience at the higher weight classes, fought much bigger guys. So that will be, you know, one of the things that's interesting in this whole situation is that Errol Spence will be moving up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So I like Errol Spence as a fighter, and I also think he'll match up pretty well size-wise, but I think there's definitely weight classes for a reason, man. So that's something that can be talked about. Canelo is very skilled, very, very skilled fighter, very good upper body movement, fast hands, very good power in my personal opinion. A lot of people feel like he might not have that much power. I hear it. But he has some of the best body work in the game, as though Errol Spence. So this will be somewhat of a body shot tournament. It'll be a body shot competition, man. So this will be a good fight. So Errol Spence, good fighter. Canelo, good fighter. Do I think he should move up right away and fight him? No, I don't think so. But I know one thing, Errol Spence has been calling out Canelo Alvarez a lot in the recent years. You know, I've been hearing him name drop Canelo a lot of times. So I think that is a fight that he's definitely considering fighting. We know Oscar De La Hoya, you know, definitely said he'll offer Errol Spence $20 million to move up and fight Canelo. So I think that's one of the type of fights that could happen in the horizon. Now, one thing I can say is that there is a lot of talk out there about the fact that there's a lot of fighters that moved up in weight to fight bigger challenges and on the backside, it was kind of a duck in their own division. I think this is one of the things that we can't leave out. We have to discuss this as well. A lot of people blame Mikey Garcia moving up to fight Errol Spence as a way to get away from Lomachenko. A lot of people think, Kell Brook moved up in weight to fight Triple G, moved up 2 weight classes to get away from Errol Spence, to get away from Jesse Vargas. Obviously he moved back down and fought Errol Spence, and we see what happened. But there's a lot of instances where fighters move up in weight to probably duck a guy in their own weight class because of their skill level. So I think a lot of people make that same correlation between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, Bob Arum, they're saying they want the fight. Errol Spence is calling out Canelo to move up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo when he got some real deal unfinished work right here in Terrence Crawford. And I can completely understand how that can be said. But can or will Errol Spence Jr. whoop up on Canelo Alvarez if he was to move up to 160 pounds? This is something that a lot of people talk about. It's something to be really thought about. Errol Spence Jr., like I said, his size matches up pretty well. He's definitely have the type of power that can carry up. He's definitely a seek and destroy type of fighter. He comes forward. He got good body work. He got a good jab. Stamina, some of the best stamina. So can he move up and beat Canelo Alvarez? I think that'll be a tough task. That'll be a tough thing for Errol Spence to do. And I think if Errol Spence was to do something like that, I think that will be a big statement being made. That'll be a big statement. I think that's a lot to try and pull off. I don't know if it can happen. I wouldn't be the first to sit up here and say that Errol Spence just goes up and destroys Canelo. I won't be the first to do it. But one thing I will say is that Errol Spence has the type of boxing skill. He has the type of power that could give a Canelo Alvarez some problems. He has the type of endurance and the type of stamina that can really serve him well in the later half of that fight versus a Canelo Alvarez. Now, I have not seen Errol Spence get touched up by a type of fighter like a Canelo. I haven't seen him get pieced up or get hit by that level of power, by that level of speed and skill. I haven't seen it. So I'm not going to be, the first person to sit up here and say, yeah, Errol Spence just move up and destroy Canelo. Like, I'm not going to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Errol Spence was to win that fight. Canelo has good speed at 160 pounds. He has very good speed. This is not going to be a Mikey Garcia situation. This is not going to be a Lamont Peterson type of situation. Canelo Alvarez can really fight. I know there's a lot of talk right now about the WBC franchise belt, ducking Charlo, ducking Andrade. Trust me, believe me, I agree. I understand. He has been ducking at work. And I think a lot of that ducking at work has to do with the fact that these guys are some live fighters. There are definitely some young lions that are ready to attack. But I also think, Canelo is trying to move up and fight a guy like Kovalev, somebody who, in my opinion, that'll be a tough fight. Canelo is only about, 5'8"? You know what I'm saying? So that'll be a tough type of fight for Canelo to try and move up and do things against. But versus an Errol Spence Jr., let's just say Canelo fights Errol. A lot of people going to say, okay, if you fight an Errol, a guy moving up at 2 weight classes, why couldn't you fight Jamal Charlo, somebody who's been your mandatory all of this long? And they would have a valid point. Or why didn't you fight a guy like Demetrius Andrade, who's actually fighting under the zone with Matchroom? I know Canelo's not with Matchroom, but he fights on the zone. Someone who's right there fighting on the same network. Why didn't you face a guy like Demetrius Andrade? And they would have a very valid point. So to fight an Errol Spence moving up is going to seem like, a cherry pick. It's going to seem like a duck. And you will be rightful to say that, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, I think Errol Spence should stay in 147. Take care of Shawn Porter if he can get past Shawn Porter, because I don't think that's going to be an easy fight like a lot of people believe so on this channel. But, fight the winner of, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, which I think will be tough to get that done. Fight a Terrence Crawford. If you can't get that fight done, that's another champion in the same weight class. I think there's a lot of stuff that Errol Spence Jr. can get done instead of moving up to fight Canelo. But hey, Canelo brings a lot of money. That'll be a big pay-per-view fight. And Errol Spence has an opportunity to try to win that fight, man. So I understand it. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I know I'm just rambling on. Y'all give this video a thumbs up for your boy. This your boy Get a Mic. I'll be back with more content. I'm out. Peace.